Investment advisory services are offered through Fusion Capital Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The firm only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. SEC registration is not an endorsement of the firm by the Commission and does not mean that the advisor has attained a specific level of skill or ability.
Welcome to Navigating Retirement with Rick Durkee.
And welcome into Navigating Retirement. We always enjoy our time here on the program discussing some of the issues in planning for our financial future. And along with us as our resource, as always, is Charleston and the Low Country's resource for more than 20 years on the radio and now on the podcast. He is president and founder of the Coastal Financial Planning Group, Rick Durkee, once again with us. Rick, welcome back.
Hey, thank you to our listeners for joining us back here again for another edition of Navigating Retirement. We're certainly happy that we can provide you this information now digitally, and we're available 24/7 to you. So, hey, anytime you want to tune in for Navigating Retirement or any of our other opportunities at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, we're available for you.
Online and on demand at the touch of your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Navigating Retirement here, also in audio and in video format. So you can view the podcast or you can listen on your smart device or on your travels, wherever you're at. But again,
Peter, in those 20 years for radio, I always had to say I had a face for radio. Nobody could ever see it. Now you see me. Okay. And if you're on audio still, now you don't. But anyway, just looking forward to another edition here of retirement planning issues that our retirees face and being able to help them.
Absolutely. As we do each and every edition of the program, and as you do each and every day there at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got questions or concerns, if you want to make sure that you are doing the right things, that you are being efficient in your planning, that you're leveraging every opportunity that is available, that you are identifying key strategies to make the most of your money, pick up the phone, give the Coastal Financial Planning Group a call, 800-491-6220. That's 800-491-6220. Rick, we are in the midst of a series, kind of a mini series here on Navigating Retirement, the Countdown to Retirement. You have a compilation of reports. They include the 12 questions to know, are you prepared? The 5 planning mistakes to avoid, the 4 approaches to long-term care, the 3 biggest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them, the 2 questions to answer, and the 1 determining factor for your retirement. Today on the program, continuing our conversation, covering the 5 planning mistakes to avoid. Number 1, I know this is a key issue, Rick. You talk a lot about this, not having that retirement income plan, not having a grip on your retirement, because we all like those acronyms, a guaranteed retirement income plan. So this is your pension, your Social Security, maximizing those sources and understanding what they're going to mean for you in retirement.
Yeah, Peter. And so that retirement income plan, as I've said many times before, is critical to your retirement income planning. If you're looking at it from a standpoint like you just put up on the screen there, why don't you say something so I can show the people on the screen there?
Online at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, cfpgroup.biz.
Yeah, and we see the sailboat running off into the sunset there. It's got a rudder. It's got a retirement income plan because it's got a guy at the helm that's running that wheel that knows that he's confident about his future throughout the remainder of his life. Not having a grip on that wheel is critical. Not having a course charted for your retirement and the retirement income plan, the retirement income allocation plan, as we've referenced it many times over the years here on podcasting and on the radio, is critical for our retirement planning. So
not having that grip would be a planning mistake to avoid. Let's get a grip on our guaranteed retirement income plan, on the sources of income that are going to support us throughout retirement. Number 2, Rick, planning mistake to avoid, taking inappropriate risks. And I think this could probably go on either end of that spectrum, taking too much risk or too little risk.
Yeah. And many times people think about it when you're doing, financial planning or retirement planning regarding financial aspects of your retirement, that it comes down to the risk of market risk.
The market risk.
That's the number one risks that people usually focus on. Through this series of our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're going to talk about many other risks, but evaluation of each of these risks is critical. Taking inappropriate risk in market-based investments is very detrimental when we're looking at drawing assets out of this pool of money and making sure that it lasts as long as we need it to. So diversifying your risk, making sure you go through proper risk tolerance analysis, and as we've talked about in episodes before of navigating retirement, making sure you bucket that money in different stages of use is also important, because each one of those individual buckets will have individual risk tolerance for, perhaps longer periods of time.
Time optimization for your portfolio, optimizing it based on when you're going to need the money. That is a great way to help you begin to gauge the risk level that is appropriate. And again, talking about the 5 planning mistakes to avoid, too many of us are taking inappropriate risks with our money. Maybe too much risk on short-term money and not enough risk with longer-term money, or money that we don't plan on needing anytime in the near future. Rick, another big one, feel like this is something that a lot of us can fall victim to simply because it's back of our mind, out of sight, out of mind, is that we have been deferring and delaying paying that big tax bill on our retirement accounts and retirement assets. So the planning mistake to avoid, number 3, a gross planning mistake. Planning for retirement based on gross numbers instead of what we actually get to keep and spend.
Peter, when we're looking at tax forward planning and we're looking at things from the standpoint of, future taxation of these dollars, if we're making calculations based on gross use of this money, we're not factoring in that Uncle Sam's going to be sitting there waiting with his hand to take the part of the income that we might be planning on using. So we got to use net numbers.
Yep.
And so that is a gross planning mistake if we're not doing tax forward planning. I always say this: if you're not working with your CPA and giving him information that can help him look into the future or help him do some forecasting into the future, you're not doing tax forward planning. If you're not paying him an extra check above and beyond just doing that tax return, you should be paying him extra money and letting him provide his value-added service and bill you a little bit more for it, but it's going to save you a bunch of money in taxes.
I was going to say, by the way, that check should produce a significant return for you in allowing you to look forward in time and plan proactively for saving more money on taxes. So again, we are counting down to retirement and going through this list of reports, the countdown to retirement. If you would like any of these reports, pick up the phone, give the Coastal Financial Planning Group a call, 800-491-6220, 800-491-6220. Rick, this next one it's something that you spend a good deal of time talking about, the importance of it. And I know that you really emphasize this in the planning efforts you do there at the Coastal Financial Planning Group. The mistake to avoid is not caring enough to plan for long-term care. We really need to formulate a plan for those potential medical expenses.
Yeah, the potential medical expenses that could be much more than we ever expected to pay above and beyond what we get provided for in our Medicare. Oftentimes people think, well, Medicare is going to cover my expenses in long-term care. Unfortunately,
not the case, is it?
It's not the case. Yep. And secondly, then people think, well, the government's going to provide for me. I was a government employee, VA benefits, things like that. That's going to be on demand. If we have the largest transfer of people into retirement here with the baby boom generation that our nation has ever had, then we've probably got stress on our beds and systems in the VA system. And then we also, on the private side, then we'll have stress on our nursing home care and availability there. And in the situation right now, I really can't think of any of us boomers that would want to be in a nursing home right now, with
I was
with
going
the COVID
to mention
situation
that. Yep.
That's going on. So we might want to absolutely say, I want to make sure I got home care in my long-term care built, into my plan. All of these things have expense. all of these things need financial planning and need to be written into your retirement income plan. It is one of the biggest risks financially, not to you, but to your spouse, your surviving spouse in retirement. So have a long-term care plan. Doesn't mean you have to have long-term care insurance, just needs to make sure you've got assets earmarked to cover that long-term care. They could be in other financial vehicles. They could be in the equity of your home. Just have a plan.
Finally, on this list of the 5 planning mistakes to avoid, not using Social Security to provide for effective financial security. Rick, Social Security is a cornerstone of retirement planning. Obviously, it's a big decision. We need to be informed and make the best decision possible.
Yeah, that's mighty big, as I've said before. Big, 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 big. Extremely big. Social Security. We want to make sure that we're looking at that program, and we don't want to look at it from the standpoint of the bad press that it gets about running out. It's not going to run out, folks. I'll just tell you right now, you can mark my word, 20 years from now, you can look back at this podcast and say, I'm going to say it's not going to run out. But what it is going to do is it's going to be taxed differently. And the system is going to be set up differently as to how you pay out and when you get benefits.
Yep.
That's how they'll get through this. But there is no politician in the United States of America that is going to run on a platform of ending Social Security benefits. So we have to plan on how to maximize those benefits and take more time spent on that, because that's the number one area where we see money slipping through the cracks on future planning by not taking Social Security serious enough to say, when do I need to take the benefits? When do I need to start them? How do I need to take them? Do I need to do them with coordination of my spousal benefits? And then finally, how do I plan on maybe some other assets stepping in and paying the income that I need for Social Security while I delay my Social Security benefits? What do I have available to do that? That's all tax forward planning. It's all Social Security planning. It can save you thousands of dollars. If not, I have seen plans where it has saved potentially $100,000 or more for a husband and wife over their retirement. So.
Yep. And making a ill decision, making a decision with this one is not going to affect your social, or it's not going to affect your financial security the day after you make that decision. If you run out and get it at 62, when maybe that was not the best decision for you and your situation, it's not going to make you less financially secure at 62 or 63 because you've got that extra money coming in. When it's going to make you less financially secure is potentially decades later, Rick. That decision that you make at 62 or 65 or whenever the case is, ultimately is going to have its impacts and effects on you years later, and in a time where you can't go back and undo that decision. So we really need to be careful with this one. It deserves some time and attention. And Rick, we only get one shot at the ideal retirement. So I believe this really deserves some dedicated time to making sure that we're not making any of these planning mistakes, but specifically with that Social Security. I know you can help people run the reports, run the analysis, and optimize their claiming strategy.
Yeah, Social Security is one of the areas where I've often said it's the analogy that we need to pay close attention to. Hey, you squeeze the toothpaste out of the tube, guess what? It's hard to put it back in, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, Mama always told me.
So you put too much out there on your toothbrush, you aren't going to put it back in. Put it in your mouth. Okay. So you got to eat those mistakes, right?
Yep.
So we don't want to do that with our Social Security. I want to rewind for a minute here, because number 2 planning mistake to avoid in our presentation today of the 5 planning mistakes to avoid was taking inappropriate risk. All of these issues all had to do with inappropriate risk, and they had to do with not gathering enough information before you make these decisions, gathering the facts, gathering all the information so that you can make a decision that will help you and your spouse for the remainder of your lives maximize your retirement. Social Security is that big one, and reviewing the risks, issues, and opportunities as we do at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, not only for our clients every day, but also for our business here at the Coastal Financial Planning Group, because that's what we're certified to do under our ISO 9001 accreditation. We review the business risks, issues, and opportunities and our systems for our clients every day, every month, every year in our system here at the Coastal Financial Planning Group. We want to make sure that you're aware of the risks and what issues you may face, and we want to take advantage of the opportunities that you can get by having this knowledge.
Well, if you would like this series of reports or any of the individual reports in the Countdown to Retirement, pick up the phone, give a call. More importantly, better, more valuable opportunity is to sit down and go over all of the factors that are addressed in these reports on an individual basis with the team there at the Coastal Financial Planning Group. So if you'd like the reports to go over on your own time, physically or digitally, or if you would like to sit down with the team at Coastal Financial Planning Group, or if you would like to attend that upcoming webinar series that they have, the Retirement Planning Summit. It's the 6th annual event hosted and held by the Coastal Financial Planning Group. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-491-6220. That's 800-491-6220, 800-491-6220. Rick, we appreciate the time and the guidance that you provide, and I look forward to continuing on our journey on the Countdown to Retirement on the next edition of Navigating Retirement.
I look forward to it too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off into retirement. Let's have a plan together.
Absolutely. Rick's looking forward to hearing from you. Again, if you'd like any of these reports, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-491-6220. Talk to you soon.
Catch more of Rick Durkee and Navigating Retirement by visiting cfpgroup.biz.
While we believe the information in this broadcast is reliable, we cannot guarantee its accuracy. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Please consult your financial professional before making any investment decisions. Investment advisory services are offered through Fusion Capital Management, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration is not an endorsement of the firm by the Commission and does not mean that the advisor has attained a specific level of skill or ability. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.